And we're live. Welcome back or welcome to the Truth Comes to Light podcast, where everything done in the dark is going to come to light. Every single detail in this world that is done in the dark is going to come to light. I'm your host, Coven, and welcome to the show. For those of y'all that are new on the Truth Comes to Light podcast, we talk about news from all over the world, the music industry, and more. Please be sure to check out my previous podcast episode on the channel. And also, please be sure to tune in to Real Spill Wednesdays. On Real Spill Wednesdays, y'all, we talk about life topics and motivational quotes. Please be sure to check out Real Spill Wednesdays. I just dropped a Real Spill Wednesday, so please be sure to check it out along with the other Real Spill Wednesdays on the channel. Y'all also, please be sure to give this video a like, comment, subscribe. Turn on post notifications so that way you get the latest updates on when I post a full podcast episode or a full Real Spill Wednesday. We're at over 270 videos. We're almost at 280 videos. We're coming up on that 300 video mark. Staying consistent, been consistent for 8 months straight. I really thank each and every one of y'all that have tuned into the podcast channel and showed support, liking, commenting, sharing, doing everything y'all possibly can. Y'all keep on coming back and watching the podcast episodes of the Real Spill Wednesdays. I will be sure to provide y'all with more content every single chance that I get. Man, 125 subscribers, man. I really just thank each and every one of y'all. We're going to keep on going up. We're going to keep on staying consistent. Also, on my social media platforms, I will be asking for podcast topic suggestions and Real Spill topic suggestions too. So when I do ask for any one of those two, I want y'all to engage. I want y'all to feel as though y'all can engage with me and I can engage with y'all. So whenever y'all do give me a topic suggestion, hopefully I can get to it and we will be talking about it on the podcast episode or the Real Spill Wednesday episode. So with that in mind, we're going to get straight into this podcast episode. I know it's been, around 3 weeks since I did a podcast episode, but we are back on and we've had a whole lot of things going on, but specifically that has been the whole talk for a couple of weeks, the whole beef with Drake and Kendrick Lamar, specifically those two. Now, Drake has been going back and forth with Rick Ross, Metro Boomin, Future, and all of these people, but the main beef has been between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I have reacted to Kendrick Lamar's diss. I've also reacted to Drake's diss on my second channel, Coven, my vlog and reaction channel. Be sure to check that out. I will be leaving it in the description. So basically all of this, for those y'all that don't know how it had all started, was on Like That on We Don't Trust You, the collab album with Metro Boomin and Future. There was a song, Metro, Future, and Kendrick Lamar, Like That, and Kendrick Lamar pretty much just took shots at Drake and J. Cole. So then J. Cole ended up dissing Kendrick, but then he ends up apologizing. But Drake wasn't playing that. Drake wasn't playing that at all. So then he drops a diss, and then it's just been feud ever since then. So you see Kendrick, he dropped Euphoria. You see him drop 616. And then you see him drop Meet the Grams. And then you also see Kendrick Lamar drop Not Like Us, which dropped a couple of days ago. And it got the most amount of views the very first day, passing up Champagne Poetry with 11.9 mil. And then you also saw Drake drop Family Matters. And you saw him drop The Heart Part 6. So he dropped 2 discs and Kendrick Lamar drops 4 discs. Tracks. And y'all can pick y'all side. Let me know down in the comment section who side y'all are on. I'm personally on Drake's side, but right now, with everything that has been going on with the diss records that has been put out, and all of them has been magnificent, I think Kendrick has an edge right now, just a slight edge. But on The Heart Part 6, Drake did say that he was feeding into the beef and was giving Kendrick Lamar fake information. So if he was giving him fake information and Kendrick Lamar was saying on Meet the Grams and Not Like Us some fake information, maybe it's even right now. So all of that being said, we're thinking that this beef wasn't going to turn violent. We're thinking that it was just going to be just strictly rap beef. And sure enough, it has turned violent, turned for the worst that I didn't want to happen, not one bit. So, on May 7th, 2024, at around 2:09, there was a shooting at Drake's Bridle Path home, and one person who ended up being a security guard was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. Drake didn't get injured, but like I said, the security guard got injured. Drake's the OVO store in London got vandalized, and also what had ended up happening, let me go ahead and show y'all the new information that happened today as I'm recording this video, is that there was a trespasser attempting to get into Drake's Toronto's home, and he ends up getting arrested. So all of this has now turned violent and has now turned serious. So let's go ahead and just look at the news, see if they have more news on the whole situation.
Here in Toronto's Bridle Path neighborhood, shots rang out outside Drake's mansion here in Toronto's Bridle Path neighborhood at around 2 o'clock this morning. Police say that a man who was working as a security guard at the residence was struck and taken to hospital in serious condition. Now, there were several orange evidence markers leading up to the front gate of the residence. That's where police say the victim was standing. He was standing outside the front gate when an unknown number of suspects approached in a vehicle and opened fire. Now, police would not say if Drake was home at the time the gunfire erupted, but they have been in touch with members of his team and say they are cooperating. Of note, Toronto police would also not confirm whether this was a drive-by shooting and whether the suspects got out of the vehicle when the shots were fired or if they remained inside the vehicle.
That person was working, apparently, as a security guard at the residence. He was standing outside of the gates in front of the residence when the shooting occurred. We have individuals who obviously performed the shooting who were seen in a vehicle. I do not have a description of the vehicle or the suspects at this time.
Investigators would also not comment on a possible motive at this time. They do say that they are aware of the ongoing feud between American rapper Kendrick Lamar and Drake, however, would not comment further. They say despite the high-profile nature of the shooting, they are treating this like any other shooting investigation here in Toronto.
Now, like they said, they don't know how many suspects came, and they literally just shot the security guard right at the front of the house. So they're looking for Drake. That's the motive. They're saying that they don't have a motive for the whole shooting, but obviously it's because of the whole Kendrick and Drake feud. Now, I personally believe that Kendrick doesn't have nothing to do with it. He ain't calling the shots and telling these people to come to Drake's house and shoot the house sub and have people come and trespass and have people in London go and vandalize the OVO store. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want that to happen. I feel like Kendrick just wants this to be strictly rap beef, but he genuinely just hates Drake. He genuinely just hates Drake. Now, it turning violent, I feel as though that is very, not even, serious. It shouldn't even turn like that. And I feel like that's how it should be with all beefs, all rap beefs. It should just stay pin the pad. And if you want to apologize, if you don't want it to get to as what it is right now, apologize by making a song or try and come together or something. But if you genuinely just hate that person, don't just, now it's so high profile that it turns violent. You're hearing Kendrick say he want Drake to die and all of that. That was a stiff punch. That was a hard punch that he just threw at Drake. And now you're going to have the fans involved, and the fans, the core Kendrick fan base, obviously they're going to feel some type of way. Okay, they want this dude to die. We're going to try and do something. You're going to have some delusional fans, core fan bases that'll do some things like that. And clearly Drake probably care about the beef. Don't get it twisted. He probably hate Kendrick, but at the same time, it's not to the point to where it's going to turn violent. And it's really sad to see how all of this is just turning violent and people literally crash out over their favorite rappers that they're probably never going to see. You probably never is going to see your favorite rapper or even going to have a conversation. But the fact that you'll go out and literally crash out because that person that rapper, that singer, or whoever will say, oh, they want this person gone, they want this person dead, and now you want to just stalk the person that they're beefing with and try and hurt the person. Like, it shouldn't even get to that point whatsoever. So on this note, on the negative side of the beef, like, this gotta go, and Drake is obviously gonna respond to this some way, shape, or form, whether that's gonna be in a song, because he's not gonna do anything violent, because Drake ain't that type of person for it to go violent. Now, Kendrick, with, you know, him being from LA and all of the, you know, his core fan base, like, yeah, they're really like that. I don't think Drake is really like that. I could be wrong, but I don't want it to get to that point whatsoever. Rap beef shouldn't get there. Any type of beef in music industry, football, anything, it shouldn't turn to the point to where it gets violent. Have y'all disagreements, have how y'all feel about each other. If y'all hate each other rapping in the music industry, cool, don't let it turn violent. Just like on the field, you may hate somebody on the football field, and then it's just like that, it don't turn violent. You may hate somebody on the court, but it don't turn violent. Just stay on the court, and that's it. The moment it expands and now more people that don't need to get into it, and now it just turns violent, and now you're putting pretty much everybody in danger. You're putting not only Drake in danger, but you're putting Kendrick Lamar in danger. You're going to put all the other people that Kendrick is associated with in danger, because who knows, Drake's fans may respond. Kendrick Lamar and Drake are untouchable, but they're going to go after people like the security guard, or like the other security guards that maybe Kendrick has, or maybe the friends that Kendrick has. But we know that Drake and Kendrick Lamar is going to be untouchable in these situations. They roll with too many people. They got to be protected at all times, especially with something like this going on. But now, since the Kendrick fans have attacked Drake, who knows? Maybe the Drake fans will come and do the same thing, and who knows? This can go way worse than what it is now, because it's already bad. It started off okay with it being pin the pad, but now people are getting hurt. Like, now I feel like the beef has to stop. For real. I see why J. Cole saw something that we didn't see. We thought J. Cole, he apologized to Kendrick Lamar. We thought that he was just scared of the smoke. He ain't want none of the smoke. Maybe he saw this coming, because something like rap beef and what they're rapping about what they're beefing about is still sort of kind of unknown. Like, it ain't even nothing as big to the point to where it turns violent. And the fact that J. Cole saw that and he apologized and wanted to settle the beef and just get it done, he avoided a whole lot of confrontation from people. He avoided this from transpiring. He avoided himself from getting hurt potentially, because I feel like this isn't going to stop. This isn't going to stop. It already started. Now, who knows? Like I said, the Drake fans come and respond. So this is the bad part of the beef that really needs to stop. Like, I feel as though, like, the beef should be done, like, right now, because now people are getting hurt. Innocent people getting hurt that don't have nothing to do with the beef, and he's just, you know, protecting Drake. Like, nah, we don't need more people getting hurt whatsoever. So hopefully they catch the people who shot up the mansion. Now, like I already said, they already got the trespasser who had invaded his home in Toronto, and they also they're trying to figure out who vandalized the OVO store in London. So they need to figure all of that out. Now, on the bright side, the beef is funny as hell. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, the beef has been funny. The whole Metro BBL Drizzy beat, that is funny. Well, Rick Ross is just posting on social media, that's funny. The whole Metro tweets that has been coming out back in the day on what he was posting before has been very, very, very funny. Like, the beef is funny overall. Funny as hell. If we're talking about strictly just the tracks, Euphoria is just top tier. It's just a great diss song. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Family Matters is good. You know what I'm saying? 616 Freestyle, that's good. Meet the Grams is probably the best one because it's the most disrespectful Kendrick disc. Like, that song is so disrespectful. Family Matters, it grew on me. It really did grow on me. That's a very good diss, and I feel like he said in the heart, Drake said that he was spreading the fake information so that way Kendrick can take it. So it kind of knocked down Meet the Grams just a little bit, because now it's like Meet the Grams isn't even credible. But Euphoria is so good that it's like, man, like Drake's diss songs are a 10, but Kendrick is just like on a whole new level. It just is. And Not Like Us, personally, maybe I gotta re-listen to it, but I personally feel as though Not Like Us is the worst one out of all four of them. Like, I see what Kendrick was trying to do by making like a club banger, you know what I'm saying? Which obviously is gonna get its traction because it got the views, but to me personally, it ain't really hitting like that. He was really pretty much saying the same thing about him being messing with young girls and stuff like that. But in regards to the disrespect, like the Meet the Grams, that's what I wanted to diss. I wanted to be strictly disrespect. You coming for that person neck every single bar. It wasn't really hitting like that. It wasn't hitting like that. I personally feel as though Family Matters is better than that. Push-Ups is better than that. And that was Drake's first diss. And that diss was good too. But it's just Kendrick's diss is just on another level. Right now, like I said, I'm on Drake's side. But Kendrick is probably slightly winning. And the reason why he is winning is because he got 4 diss songs. And Euphoria is just that good. And I don't think Euphoria may not get the credit that it deserves because of Not Like Us, and obviously they're rotating 1 and 2 on the charts, but Euphoria is a damn good diss. It's a damn good diss. When I heard that, I didn't think Kendrick was going to come out like that. Let alone, I didn't think Kendrick was going to come and drop 4 diss songs, and then when Drake drops Family Matters, he drops a diss song 30 minutes later. And obviously, he may even talk about what just happened on the Drake shooting and the trespassing and the store getting vandalized. He may even say something about it. One of them's gonna say something about it, for real. But what's really getting Drake is the fact that he spreaded that fake information to Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick Lamar took it and said it in the song. Because now it's like the credibility is like, is Kendrick Lamar really saying things that is actually real? Or now is he capping because he took the information? Did he really know about the thing? Does he really know truly about Drake? Or does Drake more know about him? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So personally, I feel as though this beef, music-wise, is damn good. This is what we needed. This is what we needed in rap. Rap has been kind of going down a little bit. None has really been popping off like that. But it's great that we're getting the big 2 at least, because J. Cole is not going to be in that conversation. But what I will say is this beef, whoever wins this beef, will have a clear-cut number 1, and the other person will be number 2. Simple as that. If Drake wins this beef, he'll be number 1, and Kendrick will be number 2, point blank, period. Vice versa. If Kendrick ends up beating Drake, Kendrick will be number 1. Drake will be number 2 in a lot of people's eyes. This beef really determines who's number 1, who's number 2, who's number 3. People say, oh, Kendrick is better than Drake, or Drake is the worst one out of all 3 between him, Kendrick, and J. Cole, or J. Cole is the best one out of all 3 of them. But this beef right here is what we needed for just that reputation on who is the best. I personally still believe that Drake is the best because of the simple fact it's just his catalog. The catalog is just there. But Kendrick has a respectable catalog as well. With Good Kid, Mad City, The Pimp a Butterfly, Section 80, like Mr. Morale, like all of these good tapes that he has. He has a good catalog. But personally, I just feel as though he's just on a whole different level. But the shooting and all of these things, like, it really does gotta stop, and I honestly don't see it stopping. I honestly, as messed up as it is, I really do feel like something else may happen. I do. I don't know what's gonna happen, but if they're already vandalizing stores, if they're already trying to shoot and kill Drake and all of this, like, imagine if they take away Drake. Imagine if they take away Kendrick Lamar, how the world will just be devastated. Like, a lot of people will be devastated that they'll take away Drake or kill Kendrick Lamar. Like, a lot of people would. So we can't have beef that is strictly rap beef turned violent. And maybe it's just a new generation right now with people having access to all of these weapons. Like, we can't have this. Let the rappers rap. Let the rappers talk. Let the athletes play when they're on the court and they hate each other. But don't let it turn violent at all. Because now you just messed up the whole entire thing. Messed up the whole entire beef. It's like, now you don't even want to do it no more because of the simple fact now somebody can get hurt. Drake probably don't even want to make another song no more because he can mess around and get hurt. I'm pretty sure he's the one that really is not even tripping more about the beef versus Kendrick Lamar. But DJ Academics did say that one of the two people was going to drop a diss song, whether it's Kendrick or whether it's Drake. I wonder who it's going to be. I think it's going to be Drake, though. But needless to say, I honestly feel like now, since the shooting has happened and it's listed as a drive-by and everything that's just been transpiring, I just feel as though this beef just has to stop. It has to stop. You can't have nobody get hurt. We can't have innocent bystanders that don't have nothing to do with the beef get hurt. Security guards, people that, you know, are affiliate of Kendrick Lamar or affiliates of Drake, we can't have any of these people get hurt whatsoever. That's something that you don't want to see at all. You see, with the Chris Brown and Quavo beef, it hasn't turned violent. Not one bit. You see, with Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, hasn't turned violent. Not one bit. You even saw with Drake and Pusha T. Didn't turn violent. Not one bit. But this specific beef with the two best people in the rap game is turning violent. And it shouldn't be like that at all. So, overall, this beef, besides the shooting and all that, is funny as hell. The BBL Drizzy, like that's crazy. And Drake was saying, like, hey, like, you want to make a beat over my ass? Like, that's crazy. And Drake really said some punches on Family Matters, saying that Kendrick's son may not be his, and may be Dave Freeze. And sure enough, Kendrick's baby mom unfollows Kendrick, but still follows Dave Freeze. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Like, he was throwing some punches too. He threw punches at Kendrick. He threw punches at The Weeknd. He threw punches at A$AP Rocky. He threw punches at Rick Ross. He was talking his shit. He was talking about Metro, obviously. Like, he was talking that talk. Like, Drake is there for the raps. You know what I'm saying? He's there for the rap beef. Now, everything after that, he ain't gonna do it. But Drake, I'm surprised he's really keeping up in regards to rap beef, in regards to him versus Kendrick. Because I said Kendrick is probably the only one that can compete with Drake in a rap battle. And, you know, Kendrick came out striking. But the strategy that Drake used of spreading false information to Kendrick, and he took it, is very, very smart. So now I feel like the score is like damn near even. Kendrick may be up just by a little bit because he has two songs that are just 1 and 2 with Euphoria and Not Like Us, and it's still going up. But overall, as a diss, I feel like Drake right now is just not getting the credit that he deserves. Like, the diss songs was hard. The diss songs were hard. Push-Ups is hard. The Heart Part 6 is hard. Family Matters is hard as hell. It's just Kendrick's has just been on another level. But since Drake gave false information, he's back in the race. He's back in it. So I wonder who's gonna drop the next diss song. I wonder how it's going to go. Hopefully they find everybody that was involved in the shooting and the vandalism and all of the things that has been going on to Drake. And I hope that nothing happens to Kendrick Lamar in a violent way. I hope Drake's fans don't come and try and invade the beef. Hopefully none of that transpires at all, because now this beef probably took a turn for the worst. And this may just have been just the tip of the iceberg. It could go way deeper. Someone could have easily got killed. The security guard is in serious condition now. Who knows? Someone for Kendrick's crew may end up dying. And that's not what Drake wants. And I know that's probably not what Kendrick wants either. He don't want no one else to die, like, for real. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this beef does turn. Is it going to stop? Is it going to keep on going? Is it going to take a turn for the worse and get even more violent? Don't know. We're just going to have to see. So let me know whose side y'all are on. I'm still on Drake's side. I still feel like it's pretty much even. Let me know whose side y'all are on. So let's move on to the next topic. Now, since we are done with the rap beef, we're going to go into the sports topics for today. Now, we have the NBA playoffs that has transpired, and I made my NBA playoff predictions in the last podcast episode. Please be sure to check it out. And I didn't do too good. I don't think I did too good. I'm trying to think. I know I had the Lakers getting eliminated. Now, I had the Suns getting eliminated. I had the Suns winning against the Timberwolves. They end up getting swept. I did not expect that. I had the Celtics. Now, I actually did pretty good on there, to be honest with you. Oh, and I had the Bucks beating the Pacers. Those were the two that I missed. So, now, in the second round, we have the Knicks and the Pacers. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. We have the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we have the Mavericks versus the OKC Thunder. And we're going to talk about game 2 that just transpired today as I'm recording this video between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. So, the New York Knicks take game 2 going up 2-0 in the series, beating the Indiana Pacers 130-121. Jalen Brunson had him a game, although he did get injured and did not play in the whole second quarter. It was reported that he had soreness in his foot, and he did not return in the game. And also, OG Anunoby, he had 28 points, but he left in the third quarter with a hamstring injury, and he did not return in the game. And even with all of that, the New York Knicks still won the game. And in game 1, the difference maker with the Indiana Pacers was the simple fact that Tyrese Halliburton did not play good. And obviously, it was a bunch of calls that didn't go their way. The kickball violation, the offensive foul at the end with Miles Turner. It didn't go their way. But obviously, Tyrese Halliburton didn't have him a good game. But this game in game 2, he had him a good game. He had 34 points. Andrew Nembhard had 15. Pascal Siakam only had 14. Miles Turner didn't play good. He had 6 points. TJ McConnell had 11. Obi Toppin had 20. Ben Shepherd had 11. Like I said, Jalen Brunson played good. He came back in the third quarter, played the third and fourth quarter, and played phenomenal. He hit some key shots, key floaters, and key jump shots to pretty much seal the deal. And the difference maker in game 2 was the offensive rebound and the second chance points that the New York Knicks got. They had so many offensive rebounds that just led to three-pointers by DiVincenzo or Hartenstein getting him some buckets. You see Josh Hart had 15 rebounds. You see Hartenstein had 12 rebounds. DiVincenzo had 6. And just the hustle that they had, the grit. The Knicks just wanted it more. The Knicks just wanted it more in this game, and that was really like the difference maker. And Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam combining for 20 points. That isn't going to win y'all games. Last game, y'all played fine. Tyrese Halliburton just didn't play good. But this game, y'all did not play well at all. Y'all couldn't get no rebounds, and y'all were just getting out-hustled. But when Jalen Brunson went down, they were up by double figures. They were up by double figures, and they had the game. They literally had the game. Jalen Brunson is like the make or break for the New York Knicks, point blank period. If he doesn't play, who knows how bad his foot is. He did come back even though it was sore. Who knows how bad his foot is. If he can't play game 3, I do have the Pacers winning. I honestly have the Pacers taking both games at home. And when I look at this series, when I compare this series to the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, or when I compare to the OKC Thunder and the Mavericks, this series is going to be a long series. The Pacers and the Knicks is going to be a long series. Like, don't let the score fool you. They lost by 9 points in game 2, and they lost by 4 in game 1. But remember that offensive foul by Miles Turner, they were down by 2. So that happened, and then obviously they shot the free throws to, pretty much seal the game. The Pacers can beat the Knicks. They have the depth to beat the Knicks. And without Jalen Brunson, the Knicks are in trouble. They already don't have Julius Randle. Who knows how OG Anunoby is going to become game 3. Maybe he doesn't play game 3. Maybe that hamstring is very bad. If that's bad, they're going to be in something big trouble. And I don't see them taking the series out if they don't have OG Anunoby or Jalen Brunson. If they have Jalen Brunson, but they don't have OG, the series may go 7. But I see the Pacers taking it both games at home because they have the depth. Tyrese Halliburton just got to be more aggressive. Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam just got to play better. But the bench is playing well. The bench outscores the Knicks every single game. They outscored them in game 1, and they outscored them in game 2. And when you go to their total rebounds, they had 44 to 34. And it may not look like they only got out-rebounded by 10, and the Indiana Pacers had 14 offensive rebounds, and the Knicks only had 12. And you may think they had more rebounds on the offensive end, but it was just when it mattered most and the hustle, the Knicks had it. The Knicks got those possessions. The Knicks got the rebounds. The Knicks got the turnovers. They tied for turnovers. They had 9 turnovers each. The Knicks had less offensive rebounds, and it didn't feel like that because they played harder than the Pacers. They just did when it mattered most. And that concerns me. That's the only thing that concerns me for the Indiana Pacers is the simple fact that are they going to get that grit? Are they going to play more hard than the New York Knicks? Is Tyrese Halliburton going to show up? Is Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam going to show up? Because the bench is going to show up. Obi Toppin had him 20 in game 2. And he had 12 in game 1. McConnell had 18 in game 1. And he had 10 in game 2 with 12 assists. So they have the bench. They have the depth that can literally cause problems for New York. It's just, can the starting 5, when it matters most, everybody play good? Because if everybody plays good, they wins. Miles Turner, if he don't have 6 points, they win this game. Guess how many he had in game 1? He had 23 points in game 1. Everybody just ain't play good. Nembhard played okay in game 1, but Tyrese Halliburton only took 6 shots, had 6 points. Now you see Pascal Siakam had 14, He had 18 in game 1. You see, Aaron Nesmith had 12. He had 6. So even though Nesmith is more of a defender type of guy, like, they just got to play better. They just do. And they got to get the offensive rebounds. They got to get the boards when it matters most. They just do. Unless they're going to lose this series. But they're hoping that they get some sort of effect from the Bucks series passed on to the Knicks series with Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby both being hurt. And we don't know the status of any one of those two guys coming into game 3. But if OG doesn't play, they're losing game 3. They're losing game 3. If Jalen Brunson isn't playing, they're losing game 3. They got to have both guys. They just do, just the whole entire series. I don't see them taking game 3 or game 4. I don't see them stealing a game on the road. I personally feel as though this series is a better matchup for the Pacers to win it. To win this series for real. Because if they would have played the 76ers, it would have been a little bit tougher. But I personally feel like the Pacers and the Knicks, it's the same matchup. It's literally the same matchup. The Pacers can win against the Knicks. They literally can. But if the Knicks played the Bucks, should I say? I don't know why I said the 76ers. If the Knicks would have played the Bucks, then it would have been tougher, especially if they are all healthy. It would have been tough for the Knicks to win. So they're lucky that they got the Pacers, but I feel like the Pacers are a tough matchup for the Knicks. But they just got to play hard. That's really what it comes down to. The Knicks won both of these games just by playing more tough and more physical and just having more hustle than the Pacers in both games. And then obviously Jalen Brunson, when it matters most, he comes through. When Dante DiVincenzo, when it matters most, he comes through. Josh Hart, he comes through. But it's just hustle, getting those rebounds, hitting free throws. The Pacers could not hit no free throws in the fourth quarter. Couldn't hit no free throws. And that was also a difference maker. Where Karl got ejected, that whole double dribble was not a double dribble. I don't know why they called it a double dribble. I don't know what he was getting mad at, but that wasn't a double dribble. But they just got to hit their free throws. And they got to play with more hustle and more grit. And everybody in the starting 5 got to play good. You can't just have 2 people in double figures. And then you have Miles Turner, Nesmith, not play good. Nembhard played good. He had 15. So you can't have two of the starting 5 only have 6 points and think you're going to win. And you got to get the rebounds and you got to hit your free throws. So the Pacers, even though they're down 0-2, I still feel like they can tie the series up at 2 games apiece. And then it just goes back to the Knicks. And I honestly feel like the Pacers have a better chance on taking a game in New York versus the Knicks having in Indiana. I just do. It's something about this Pacers team, this matchup. It's really just a matchup. But overall, I do have the Knicks winning this series in 7, though. I have the Knicks winning it in 7. But if the Pacers do take this series and go to the Eastern Conference Finals, I wouldn't be surprised. Even though I said they were going to get bounced in the first round, I feel like they should have got bounced in the first round. If the Bucks would have had Giannis, if they would have had Damian Lillard, when they really didn't have Damian Lillard. Chris Middleton was banged up. Bobby Portis got ejected in that game. Like, they could have won. But the Pacers end up winning. Now they're playing the Knicks. And like I said, they can easily make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They have a chance. They do. I'm not going to say easily. They have a chance. But overall, I do have the New York Knicks winning in 7 games. Let me know who y'all got. Overall, good W for the New York Knicks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I talked down on this team at the beginning since March. I talked about them when we were doing the way too early finals predictions. I even talked about them, slept on them. Come in time right now for the finals prediction, the official finals prediction. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. The Minnesota Timberwolves are that team. They are for real. The Minnesota Timberwolves win 106-80 in game 2 to take a 2-0 lead on the defending champs, the Denver Nuggets, and head home for game 3 in Minnesota, where they can potentially close out the series at home. After a 43-point masterclass from Anthony Edwards being the difference maker in game 1, and also Naz Reid being the difference maker, game 2 was a whole different story. This was an all-time defensive master class. Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns had 27 points to carry the team, lead the way. Naz Reid had 14. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 14. And everyone else was under double figures, but the difference maker was the defense. They held Jamal Murray and Jokic to a combined 16 points. They had Jokic have 16 points, and they had Jamal Murray have 8 points. And Jamal Murray has been struggling in the first half the whole entire series. Aaron Gordon had 20 points. He led all scorers on the Nuggets. Michael Porter Jr. only had 9 points. KCP only had 4 points. Justin Holiday had 13 points. But, ladies and gentlemen, this series is over. The Denver Nuggets is fixing to take their asses home. And they might mess around and get swept. Who knows? That defense by the Minnesota Timberwolves is just phenomenal. I'm looking at the game, and I'm sitting to myself, I'm like, Jamal Murray is getting clamped up. Michael Porter Jr. is getting clamped up. Jokic is looking like a whole traffic cone. Jokic can't even do nothing. Jokic had 16 and 16, but Jokic ain't played good. He was turning the ball over like crazy. And just like with the Pacers, the Timberwolves have depth, and they have guys that can defend. Even the 4 and 5 men can defend. And the crazy thing was, in this game, they didn't even have Rudy Gobert. So imagine when they have Rudy Gobert, who just won Defensive Player of the Year. Shout out to Rudy Gobert. But imagine if they had Rudy Gobert in this game. They held the defending champs to 80 points in a playoff game. Let me repeat that. They held the defending champs to 80 points. And they've been blowing out the Nuggets. Like, these games haven't been close. Like, game 1 it was close, but the Timberwolves really just broke away. But game 2, they were up by 30 at one point. And they were up by, I think, 26 or 28 at halftime, and they finished off winning by 26. Like, this game wasn't close at all. Jamal Murray throwing the heating pad on the floor. I personally feel as though I didn't want him to get ejected, but I thought he was going to get ejected. He got a hefty $100,000 fine. And I don't know how Mike Malone didn't get ejected, going right into the referee's face, and the ref almost headbutted him. I don't even know how he didn't get it. Not even a technical foul. He didn't get nothing. Not one bit. But going back to this game, this series is over. They have guys that can defend. Naz Reid coming off the bench, being a 4, being a stretch 5, can defend. Nickeil Alexander-Walker just putting more pressure on Jamal Murray. You got Anthony Edwards that can defend. You got Mike Conley that can defend. You have Jaden McDaniels that can defend. They got so many guys on this team that can defend. Cat can defend, and they're fast. They can move. They got length. That's what I love about this Timberwolves team. They got length, and they didn't even have Rudy Gobert on this team, and they literally shut down the Denver Nuggets from start to finish. They made them frustrated. Yeah, they weren't getting the calls in the first half. So wasn't the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves wasn't getting no calls either. And they literally were frustrated. Jamal Murray was frustrated. The coach was frustrated. Jokic was frustrated. Everybody on the team was frustrated. And the fact that they didn't even get a game at home, it's going to be hard for them to get a game in Minnesota. it's going to be hard for them to get a game in Minnesota. We're seeing Anthony Edwards. People are comparing Anthony Edwards to D Wade and Michael Jordan. Now, Anthony Edwards is just Anthony Edwards. He's just different. This brother right here scoring 43 in the first game, coming back and scoring 27, and just what he's doing, he post fadeaway on two people, getting whatever he wants. Like, Anthony Edwards is special. And I feel like he ain't going to be the face of the NBA because of the market that he's in. You know, they're already trying to promote Victor Wembanyama. But Anthony Edwards should get the credit that he deserves. And he should be one of the faces in the NBA, for sure. This dude can ball. He gets whatever he wants. He's like a 6'6" guard who can get whatever he wants, who likes being physical, who will literally punish anybody that guards him. He is a dog. He is a dog. And this team overall is a very complete team who can defend from top to bottom. They don't have nobody that you can just get on a screen and it's just easy barbecue chicken. They don't have nobody. Everybody can defend very well. You see it with Naz Reid. Naz Reid was switched on Jamal Murray a couple of times, and he had a couple of blocks, and he defended very well. Jamal Murray just hasn't been playing great in this series. This isn't the Lakers where you can play trash in the first half, and then when the fourth quarter comes, fourth quarter Jamal Murray, let me go ahead and get 15 to 18 points in the fourth quarter. Let me finish off with 25, 28, just like that. Nope. Timberwolves ain't playing that. If you're not playing good in the first half, you're not going to play good in the second half. And they got guys that can stop that. They got guys that can stop the screen and roll between Jokic and Jamal Murray, which has been flat out unstoppable nearly the whole entire season. Literally, they got guys, anybody can literally just guard Jamal Murray, guard Jokic, and then boom, bam, like, that's it. Jokic isn't playing good. They know how to defend Jokic. They got guys that can defend Jokic. They got young guys that can defend Jokic. You put Gobert on Jokic, man, and they didn't even have him on him. I think they had Cat on Jokic. And it's just like, man, like, this team is something special to watch. And the same, I think it was the GM. He was the one who got the Nuggets team together, and he got the Timberwolves team together. So, shout out to him. Like, this Timberwolves team, I slept on y'all. I did. Because I thought, man, I know y'all aren't like OKC, but I just thought y'all were young. You know, you got the stars like Anthony Edwards. Like, I didn't think y'all were ready come playoff time. Y'all lost in 5 last year to the same Nuggets team. I didn't think y'all was ready. But boy, am I wrong. Y'all got some veterans like Mike Conley on the team. Cat has been there, you know, a few years, should I say. Rudy Gobert. Like, they got a team. And I think they're ready. This team is probably like the closest team that can beat this Denver Nuggets team for real. Like, if the Nuggets lose, it's going to be a whole disappointment, number one. But the whole Western Conference is going to be wide open. Because I didn't think that the Nuggets was not going to be down 0-2 and they weren't going to, you know, probably lose this series and not reach it to the Western Conference Finals at least. I think most people had the Denver Nuggets reaching it to the Western Conference Finals at least. Some even had them going to the finals. But if they lose in the second round, it just blows the whole Western Conference wide open. So, shout out to the Timberwolves. Since they got both games in Denver, they might mess around and sweep Denver. I'm not even going to lie. This series is probably going to go 5 games max. 5 games max. Maybe 6. But I wouldn't be surprised if this gets shut down 5 games. Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if this series gets shut down both games. The Nuggets don't even take a game because they should have took at least game 1. You don't take game 1, and then you don't take game 2. You get, you know, the doors blown out of you, and on your home court, 26-point deficit, you were down by 30. Come on, you can't have that happen. So shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves for beating the Denver Nuggets and taking a 2-0 lead heading to Minnesota. Man, I don't know what to tell you, Denver. So let's move on to the OKC Thunder versus the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks, obviously, they beat the LA Clippers, and I thought that they were probably going to lose that series, but I wasn't shocked that they won the series. But the OKC Thunder, who beat the Pelicans, they swept the Pelicans. They come and blitz the Dallas Mavericks, 117-95. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had him another good game, 29-9-9. Chet Holmgren had him a good game. Jalen Williams had 18, but the difference makers was the bench. And that's going to be a key theme that you're going to notice with these teams. Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams, 16 points and 11 points. Isaiah Joe hit him a couple of threes. Kassan Wallace had 7 points but played some pretty good defense. Luka Doncic had 19 points, but Luka did not play good. It shows that he had 19. Luka didn't play good whatsoever. He hasn't been shooting the ball too well. He's been shooting pretty trash. Kyrie Irving had 20. Gafford had 16 and 11, but he missed a whole lot of shots. I personally feel as though he needs to play up. PJ Washington needs to also play up and had 10 points. Josh Green had 11 points, and that was pretty much it. They don't have the depth. And personally, I feel as though if the Dallas Mavericks don't at least reach it to the Western Conference Finals with the bracket that they're in and what has been transpiring, I honestly feel like this season is a disappointment. Because I don't think people really have the OKC Thunder going to the Western Conference Finals or having them go far. So the fact that you beat the LA Clippers, the fact that you have Kyrie Irving, the fact that you get PJ Washington, both of those guys to try and help Luka Doncic, because Luka has never had a good two other than Jalen Brunson. Porzingis was hurt. But you add these two guys, it's like you have to reach it to at least the Western Conference Finals. You have to. I don't think Kyrie's going to go anywhere. He probably is going to stay in Dallas. But you got to, throughout this time that he is there, if he does decide to leave, you have to get to a Western Conference Finals. And this is a good route to make it there. The problem is, though, is they're going against the OKC Thunder, who have depth just like the Minnesota Timberwolves. The difference is they're young. But no matter with them being young, these brothers can play. Jalen Williams can play. Kassan Wallace can play. Isaiah Joe can play. Aaron Wiggins came and he erupted and had 16 points. And obviously, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be the head of the. He's going to be the head of the snake. He's going to get it whatever he wants and whenever he wants. 29-9-9. It was hard for them to stop him. It was literally hard for them to stop him. Then Jalen Green, J-Dub, 18 points, and Chet coming with 19 points. But in order for the Mavericks to have a chance in this series, Luka cannot play how he plays. He can't play like he played in Game 1. He got to shoot better. He wasn't even shooting that good in the Clippers series, and they still won because Kyrie Irving literally erupted in that series. But Luka can't play this bad. Him and Kyrie Irving had to at least get 25 each from the two. They may have to get 30 each. And then the other X Factor in the last series against the Clippers was PJ Washington. And guess what? PJ Washington showed up. The difference maker in this series, I think it's more so Daniel Gafford. Gafford has to show up. And he showed up 16-11. He had a couple of blocks. I think he had 4 blocks, if I'm not mistaken. He has to show up against these young 4s and 5s on the Thunder. He has to be that veteran big that can defend. Same with PJ Washington. He has to defend. But I feel like Daniel Gafford If Kyrie and Luka are on, I feel like Gafford has to play. Gafford has to play. He has to do pretty much the same thing that he did in game 1 and game 2. It's just Luka got to play better. Luka and Kyrie got to play better. But if he does what he does, 16 and 11 with about 3-4 blocks, that's a good game for him. That's a good game for him. He didn't play bad. I wish he would have hit more shots because he had shots that, man, it's like, dang, how you missed that? Like, he could have had way more than 16. Just saying. But overall, they got to play better. Luka and Kyrie, they got to have at least 25 to 30 points each game in, game out. I feel like they're personally fine. It's just the depth that the Thunder have versus the depth of the Mavericks kind of concerns me, because it's like, other than Josh Green and Derek Lively, do you really have any depth on the Mavericks team? Tim Hardaway Jr., do you really have any depth like that? The Thunder do, and they got a lot of it. Isaiah Joe, Kassan Wallace, and they can defend. They can defend. That's one thing about this Thunder team that I do like about them. They can defend. I think the Timberwolves have the number 1 offense or the number 1 defense or something like that. They're like right in that range to the Thunder. That they can defend and they can score too. So overall, yes, it's 1-0. It's early still. It's early in the series. The Dallas Mavericks just got to adjust. But the depth may be a problem for the Dallas Mavericks. And if Luka doesn't play good and Kyrie doesn't play good, oh, this series is over. But Luka has to play good. And they have to both, Luka and Kyrie, get 25 each. 25 to 30 each, at least. At least. If they don't do that, series is a wrap. So now we're going to move to the last playoff game that has been transpired, that has concluded. The Boston Celtics take a 1-0 lead, beating the Cleveland Cavaliers 122-95. Jaylen Brown and Derek White was the story of this game. Jaylen Brown had 32 points. Derek White has been balling. Ever since he has cut off his hair, he's been balling, having 25 points. He played very good in that Heat series, especially the closeout game. He played very good. Payne Pritchard off the bench played very good as well. Tatum had 18. Tatum played all right. He didn't play the best, but he didn't really need to because you had Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Payne Pritchard play good. The only way the Cavaliers, I don't even see them having a chance, but the only way they can win, everybody else except for Donovan Mitchell got to play well. And you saw it in the Magic series. They almost lost that game. They almost lost Game 6. Remember, I said Game 6. They almost lost Game 7. Remember, they were down by 18, I think. They were down by like 18, almost 20 points. But Donovan Mitchell had to bring them back. Donovan Mitchell had, I think, 50 in Game 6. And they still lost. Still lost. Let me repeat that. He had 50 in a game and still lost. So Darius Garland has been playing trash. He hasn't been playing that good. Evan Mobley has been all right. He hadn't been playing like... Donovan Mitchell has to have help. He has to have help. If he doesn't get no help, they don't have a chance. They don't have a chance on beating the Celtics, in my opinion, just because they're just outmatched. They're literally just outmatched from the point guard position all the way, just down from number 1 to number 12. They're just outbenched as a whole team. It's just Donovan Mitchell and then just everybody else. Who's going to come and step up? Is that going to be Darius Garland? We need Darius Garland to step up. Is it going to be Evan Mobley? Jared Allen, obviously, he's hurt, so he can't play. So you need somebody to step up and help Donovan Mitchell, unless they're going to keep on getting that ass smacked 120-95 every single game. They can mess around and get swept if they don't get any other help. But if they do get help, they can get 2 games. They can get 2 games, but as long as Donovan Mitchell doesn't get no help, as long as Darius Garland gets 14 points, Strus only has 5 points, or Cora only has 11 points, it's not going to be enough. The Celtics, like I said, it's championship or bust for them. You can't only lose 5 games at home the whole entire season. And come in the playoffs with having home court throughout the whole entire playoffs and not reach it to the championship, let alone win it. This is the team. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, y'all have the most amount of pressure. The Nuggets don't have no pressure because they already won. They already won their championship. Y'all have pressure. And if y'all beat them, y'all are 9 times out of 10 going to go up against the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I feel like y'all are going to smack the Knicks because y'all have people that can defend Jalen Brunson and just everybody else. Y'all have the better team. So y'all shouldn't lose to the Knicks. If y'all lose to the Knicks, that's a problem. That's a story for another day. But overall, I feel as though this championship or bust, literally. And they have to beat, whether it's the Nuggets coming out and coming back from that series, whether it's the Timberwolves, whether it is the Mavericks or the OKC Thunder. They better hope they don't play the Timberwolves. Because if they play that Timberwolves team, man, that's going to be a tough championship. Tough championship for the Boston Celtics. Same if they play the Nuggets. It's going to be tough too. But the Celtics have the most pressure, without question. They have to reach into the championship. They have to at least. And they got to win one. You can't have this same team that you've been growing for years and don't reach nothing. Nothing at all. Like, that's going to be a disappointment. And who knows? Mazzulla may get fired. And then Porzingis, obviously, he's hurt. Porzingis has to come back. That's another X factor. If Porzingis doesn't come back, it's going to be hard for them to win that championship, too. It's going to be hard for them. So, I'm really concerned on what Kristaps Porzingis' status is going to be when that time does come. Hopefully, he can play. But if he can't play, they're also in trouble, too. So, I personally have the Celtics beating the Cavs. I think the Cavs don't have no chance in this series whatsoever. Nobody's helping Donovan Mitchell, and no one was really helping Donovan Mitchell after like game 3 in Orlando. Nobody was helping them at all. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they come out in game 2 versus the Celtics. But if no one helps them, it's over. And if Kristaps Porzingis doesn't come back, it's going to be hard for the Celtics not making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but more so winning it and going to the finals, and especially winning the finals. So it's going to be very tough. So they need to get Porzingis back. So let me know who y'all have going to the finals. I personally now, it's kind of crazy. I have the Celtics. And I have the Timberwolves making it. I think that series is over. And I personally have the Celtics and the Timberwolves making it. And we'll be talking about that whole finals, the official championship series, and who ends up coming later down the line on a future podcast episode. So let me know who y'all got reaching it. So with that in mind, that is the end of this podcast episode. If you made it to the end of this podcast episode, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you get the latest updates on when I post a full podcast episode or a full Real Spill Wednesday. Y'all follow me on IG, TikTok, and X at The Truth Comes to Light Podcast. And with that in mind, I love each and every one of y'all, and y'all have a nice rest of y'all day.